Lads, we are back. Welcome back to Yin Yang Zing. This is Patrick here, and we are trying a new style of editing on this. So if you like it, please leave a comment in the comment section below. But we are going over my Metaphys deck profile today here on the channel. So hope you guys look forward to it, Mr. Purple. This is for you, as you requested to see my list. So we're going to jump right into the profile, and here we go. Starting off, we've got 3 copies coming down hot of Metaphys Ragnarok. That all rhymed, and that was not intentional. But Metaphys Ragnarok is the starter card. It's the most important card of the deck. It's your most common normal summon. It banishes the top 3 cards of your deck. And for every Metaphys card, it gains 300 attack. But when it deals battle damage to your opponent, it special summons another Metaphys monster from your deck to your side of the field. It's incredibly important. The 300-point gain is permanent. So then we go right into Metaphys. Metaphys is your searcher. When it's banished, face up, obviously. When it's banished, during the standby phase of the next turn, it shuffles itself back in. Add another Metaphys card to your hand. And when it's special summoned by a Metaphys monster effect, it banishes all set spell and trap cards on the field. So this card's super important, but all Metaphys monsters have an effect when they're special summoned by another Metaphys monster for all the big ones. And then they all have a different banish effect too. So Tyrant Dragon, coming down hot at 2, is 2 copies here, and it's when it's special summons one from the hand when it's banished, and then when it's special summoned by a Metaphys monster effect, it can attack twice. It's unaffected by traps. Daedalus will banish a different one from your deck. When it's banished, shuffle it back in, banish a new one, and when it's special summoned off a Metaphys monster effect, it'll banish all other specially summoned monsters from the field, which is absolutely insane. This card single-handedly makes the Metaphys deck actually competitively relevant, if it ever was. Decoy Dragon, this card would be so much better if there was a high scale, but there's not. Decoy Dragon, its scale effect and its monster effect are the exact same, and they're treated as a monster effect triggering. But when a monster is targeted as an attack, it will banish itself and special summon one from the deck, from the banish pile or from the graveyard. Super powerful card. It does have its weaknesses, obviously. It is a pendulum monster, so if its effect doesn't go off, it dies. It is a hard once per turn, though. Next up is 2 copies of Necrophase. This is to increase your recyclability. You want to banish, like, everything. And by like everything, I mean everything. It also becomes a huge body, so it's important. Grimaju Daiza is the last monster. It's the only other normal summon in the deck, other than Necrophase, and, there's only 6 normal summons. But this guy is just there to help you get over big threats. In simplified game states, it's really fun to go into him to just kill people. Good stuff. Healthy. Next up, we're going into spells, and there's a metric buttload of draw spells in this deck. A metric buttload. I just showed you on screen. So we've got 3 copies of Assi Metaphys. So Assi Metaphys. Banish a Metaphys card from a Metaphys monster from your hand, draw a card. Which will trigger their effects in the next standby phase, or Metaphys Ascension lets you add one. But then if a Metaphys monster is banished during your turn, all your opponent's monsters, all Metaphys cards lose 500 attack, permanent. And if it's during your opponent's turn, it changes their battle position. So it's really nice way to make big monsters less scary. 3 copies of Card of Demise. It's a lot of spells and traps. So this card doesn't negatively impact you. You're trying to get to 1 card. There's only 1 card you want to see. There's 2 different cards, but you want to see one of them. Next is 3 copies of Into the Void. Again, you're just trying to draw into your floodgates, and you're not going to special summon on your turn, typically. 2 copies of Pot of Desires. Desires just makes Necrophase bigger. It's super powerful. 2 copies of Pot of Duality. You normal summon typically in this deck, so again, 1 day apiece. Draw power. You don't care if your opponent has cards. Doesn't really matter. You're going to banish everything. 1 Upstart Goblin. Life points. Your opponent doesn't. It doesn't really matter. Even going into time, because you have ways to gain life points in this deck as well. 1 copy of Crossbreed. They're all light worms. All of them. All of them. So if you open just the big ones in Crossbreed will let you get 2 of them in the banish pile, and you get the add of Ragnarok, so you're able to start your plays. So Crossbreed's super critical to getting Ragnarok, because you want to see Ragnarok as early and as often as possible. 2 copies of Soul Absorption. Soul Absorption is fantastic when you go into time, or if you're going into a grindier game. Soul Absorption will give you a win condition against decks you normally can't beat. It's cheeky, and by that I mean it seems like a stall tactic, but it's really not. In certain situations, it's the only way you can beat certain decks. they can't kill you, so you're going to win. Force them into scooping. You should never give up if you have soul absorption and you gained a ton of life points, especially against things like True Draco that can't OTK, at least very efficiently, especially from 36,000 life points. Next is the most important field spell in any deck, in my opinion, Metaphys Factor. Metaphys Factor turns all Metaphys monster effects into spell speed 4, essentially. Your opponent can't respond to the activation of Metaphys monster effects. That's insane. It protects Ragnarok's summoning from deck effect from being ashed because it's a Metaphys monster effect. So then there's special summon, and then those effects can't be stopped. Whether it be Daedalus for banishing everything, you can't effect Valor it because that's responding to its effect. So you just don't activate anything, and there you go off. Metaphys Factor is insane. Terraforming just helps you get there. All the draw spells, you didn't need more than 2, and it's Metaphys Factor, so it's searchable. 1 copy of Gold Sark, you want to hit your Necroface, and then here's the spell you're trying to draw into, 1 D-Fissure. If this card was at 2 or 3, it would be even better. This deck would be tier 1 if it had more access to D-Fissure. So that's it for the spells. Now we're on to the traps. There's only 3. 2 Metaphys Ascension and 1 copy of Macrocosmos. So Metaphys Ascension is a draw trap. You discard a Metaphys monster, a Metaphys card, draw a card, and then you can banish a Metaphys monster from your deck. And when it's banished, you get to search one. But Metaphys Ascension is not a good 3 of because it is a hard once per turn on either or effect. So if you activate one, you can't activate the other, and you can only use it. It's a hard once per turn. So Metaphys Ascension is a good trap, but it's not most critical. And Macrocosmos is part of your win condition. You want to see this or Dimensional Fissure in order to win. It's important to see those cards because they're so powerful and so crucial to the strategy. So next up is going to be the extra deck, and there's only 1 card in the entire extra deck that matters. The other 14 cards, you can play whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. I never go into them. I've never used the extra deck at this deck. It's not critical. Daedalus pretty much kills it. I just have random stuff in there, as I just showed you. The only card that matters is Metaphys Horus. This card is absolutely insane. Metaphys Horus, when it's summoned off of with a pendulum monster as being the synchro material, it will give it the effect to steal an opponent's monster. So it's a mind control effect, but it can attack. So what you'll do, and you can't summon it any other way than with a pendulum monster. So it's always going to have that effect. So in certain situations, if you're in a rough spot, you go Metaphys Horus, steal it, done. Crisis averted. Metaphys Horus is the only card in the entire extra deck that matters. The rest of it doesn't matter. So, guys, that is my Metaphys deck profile. I really, really, really love this deck. I think it's super fun as an anti-meta strategy. Mr. Purple, thanks again for your comment and for liking the deck. It is one of my favorites. I continue updating this deck. It's super fun to play. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you guys in the next video. Thanks again. Lads, we are back. Welcome back to Yin Yang Zing. This is Patrick here.